Welcome everyone to issue number 1 of T'Challa and Chill. You thought I didn't get this cover here? Of course I got this cover here. My mistake. I didn't show it off in my original. Oh, we got like variant covers galore. There was actually many variant covers over
Yeah,
here on the comic
quite a
book.
few of them.
Did you get the 1 in 10 variant? Did you get the 1 in 25? Black Panther 1 in 50? How about this guy over there? That one there. There was a second printing variant. That's the one that our boy D Real has right over there on screen. There was
Yep,
so
yep.
many variants for you to collect. And Howard the Duck variant. How about that one?
Wow.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Okay.
It reminds me of one of those people,
Uh-huh.
and we're
Alright.
one of those people who are very, very anti the movie that came out, Wakanda Forever. So we'll say anything but. I'll call it What Funeral for Cheddar. I'll call it Wakanda whatever.
How come Nick Fury and nobody else showed up to the funeral?
That happens whenever me and D Real and Theo as well talk about this comic book. We always turn to the movies and try to get sidetracked in it, but that's not what's going to happen now. Let's talk about Vernon T'Chaka, or as they like to call it, BT,
The
BITI.
BT, yeah.
Good nickname. As a reader, I want something that doesn't dominate space. So word balloons that have smaller words are better. Of course, they would nickname the city BT, right? That's just a normal thing that would happen. And I'm so for that name, so much that it's worth mentioning here today.
Yeah, yeah. It is a nice shortened form of the word, and the way they spell it, you would think the way it's pronounced that it's initials, but it actually sounds like it is initials. So either or, it works both ways. Yes, I like it. I like it a lot.
So he's outcasted, sort of on the outskirts. He was chilling. They're continuing. What's his name? What's the garbage? Filth. You guys know what I'm talking about. They're
Pidley,
continuing.
Pidley.
That sounds like yeah. It was Ron
Yeah,
Gidley. That was it.
yeah.
So that filth had 15 issues and in a negative place for T'Challa. The beginning of this starts off where that. So the destruction was so great that it kind of had after effects into the next iteration of T'Challa. Unfortunately, just the question is only how long will it last, Derail?
Right. I feel like from what I've read in this first issue, they want to let you know that that's the jumping on point, but it isn't necessarily where the story is going to stay. And if I may make mention of this book right here.
This book right here. This book
Yeah,
right
this
here.
book right here. T'Challa is in this book, and Carol Danvers is actively recruiting for her Avengers team, and she makes mention of all of the stuff that went on during that
Crap.
other run,
Mm-hmm.
and how people felt about it, and how she's like, okay, we're going to unconditionally accept you back in because you're floating around in the middle of the ocean feeling sorry for yourself. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get your ass back in the game. You're a superhero, for crying out loud. You may not be a king, but you're still and she complimented him and said, okay, you're smart in a way that Tony Stark isn't smart. And just like he alluded to earlier, we always make mention of the movie. They could have benefited from not downplaying T'Challa's intelligence and got so much more out of that movie. But I digress.
So you got me thinking of another movie. Imagine if in Star Wars, Rey met with Luke Skywalker, gave him that same pep talk Carol just gave T'Challa. Listen, this is not who you are. This is who you got to be, and he returns to being a hero. It didn't turn out that way. Luke Skywalker died, but in this franchise, I know, right? Oh,
Yeah.
In this franchise, I can see Ewing recruiting or elevating him back. Will it take 5 issues though? Because that's how time passes in Marvel. Everything's got to fit for the trade. So if it's a
Well,
5-issue trade, 6-issue trade, I anticipate by issue 6 he'll be back. There's a lot of talk here about democracy, and there's a lot of chatter about in the town hall, in the square hall, as what's his name called it, as in Yobi referred to it as this is where the moths gather. I liked, as you guys can see here on the town square, how everyone's in a circle. They're all united and they're chatting and they're having discussions. They mentioned the prime minister of Ghana, or the president, and his name was Kwame Nkrumah, who, if we look at Wikipedia, born in 1909, April 1972, he had died, but he was a prime minister and then the president of Ghana. If you guys want to read in on this, that's where you go to Wikipedia, the best source of information for quick information at least. But he was the first prime minister of Ghana, and that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say like in the comic book, they were trying to say that everyone thinks that they're Kwame Nkrumah. And I know what they mean. They're trying to say you're the socialist kind of guy who gets everyone together, teamwork and all that.
Yeah.
Good touch but would Africans in Wakanda care that much about Ghana? That's one of those things you let slide. There's African customs, but then these guys are Wakandans. So why would they care about the game of soccer? Remember when we saw a soccer ball and they're just kicking it around? But also it's a global sport and it's a game that's so common. I would like to imagine that the Wakandans have their own version of soccer. So it's okay that they're playing with a ball, but they were not playing with a soccer ball. They would be playing with a insert Wakandan sport here, ball. And the rules could be different and the goal could be separate than what a traditional soccer pitch would look like. And that's me picking at the book. I understand how snotty I sound right now, where I'm going, "Oh, the sports need to be different in Wakanda." I get it. I'm calling myself out as I criticize.
I like and I like the details that are paid to traditions. Where at the beginning of the book, the fella's running, and we're thinking, okay, he's robbing somebody, and that's the mentality that T'Challa has because T'Challa's what? Highborn.
Mm.
So he doesn't necessarily know about what goes on in the Beatty or how they do things in the Beatty. And then later on, you come to find out, oh, that was some sort of right.
It was like a feast of the stars that happens every 2 years to gain. The word was like Mbeta, and I don't know what that is, but fine. That beats what I would thought it was initially. That there's people who are so poor in Wakanda that they need to be stealing. I want to know that even the projects in Wakanda are well taken care of, well fed. And he says that he does mention, like it's not like the New York during my time in New York because the Daredevil stuff happened. Remember that Man Without Fear?
Yeah, bruh.
It's
Look
right
at
above you.
just looking at the pictures, just looking at the pictures, just looking at how people move, and bruh, that is not like a ghetto
Mm.
anywhere in America. I don't know about Canada. They ain't got ghettos like this in America. Ours don't look like that. They don't look like that. So the poorest of the poor in Wakanda is still better off than them in America.
The closest thing to Canada was that streetcar up top there, which is upside
Ah,
down. We're not
gotcha.
upside down, we're right side up, but that looked just like the Toronto TTC, as we call it,
Right, right, right,
Transit
right,
Commission.
right, right. Okay, now here's my question I had. Okay, the 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 Hatut Zeraze, have they been disbanded?
And they're just cops. At the end of the day,
And they're just
cop is a
walking
cop.
around on the streets being bullies?
That's
Is that what they've been reduced to? Oh my goodness! How the mighty have fallen
hey,
hard.
at the end of the day, a cop is a cop, and I agree with that message, Eve Ewing. That's right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And were there female Hatut Zeraze?
To my knowledge, no, there cannot be. But
Okay, and
she
I'm
called
pretty
one of them her
sure
brother.
that's a woman in the middle, ain't it?
That's a lady.
That's a woman in the middle. Rocking Hatu. And here was my thought. I didn't think they were ex Hatu Zeraze so much as it was some Wakandans who appropriated Hatu Zeraze gear.
Mm-hmm.
And so when 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 T'Challa kicks this girl in her back and she lands on her face, I show that. Yeah, he kicked her and she landed on her face. So I'm like, T'Challa don't care. Anybody can get it. You.
I watched
So
Theo's review of this fight, and he was so happy that nobody got to put their hands on T'Challa the way it should be.
yeah, I saw that. I saw that. And my thing is this: if we're referring to that run, it would not shock me one bit if that whole time, even with Captain America, with what's her name, Amalolo, and all of them people, he could have been holding back. I feel like he was holding back because any other time in a Black Panther Captain America fight, Steve Rogers is getting that work. all day, every day. People can say what they want to say, but to just, he's sitting there taking that, and it's like people were thinking, oh, T'Challa's less. No, honestly, I would venture to say he's the bigger man because I can whoop your tail, but I'm letting you sock on me, and I'm letting you sock on me because I know you frustrated about what I've done. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you have that one. But next time we have a fair one, I'm digging in your grits.
Is that what
Period.
we're telling ourselves?
That ain't what we telling ourselves. That's what comic book history tells.
Mm.
And his uncles and his dad, everybody done put that work in on Captain America, depending on what continuity you looking at.
I'm not entering that into my continuity. That scene didn't happen actually. The
but,
Hatuts
but go ahead.
finish up.
No, what I was gonna say was if he's doing that to them, making light work of them, whether they're actual Hatut Zeraze or not. If you extrapolate and say, what if that was Captain America? Yeah, he got a little bit more skill, but if I'm going all out, if I'm kicking you in your back and making you land on your face, that means we do. And what I tell people all the time, there aren't rules in a street fight. How do you expect me to fight you? Can't you expect me to do all of that stuff?
Put him up.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So I mean, if I'm serving justice, I'm serving it how I serve it. I ain't serving it how you want me to serve it. But yes, to your point, what were you about to say?
That the Hatut Zeraze remnants are probably the most honoring that we're gonna get, or the most respect and the most carrying over that we're gonna get from the prior. Folashade and Omalola haven't shown up yet. Shuri hasn't shown up yet, but it's fine. There's still time for her to show up. I mean, I don't think it's getting canceled at issue 2, and so fine. Here's the thing, though: the character who they focus on the most, his name was Inyobi Umaru.
Depending on how you want to pronounce it, I was just saying Nyobi.
Oh, that sounds a lot better. Nyobi.
Nyobi Umaru.
Probably how I'll pronounce it.
Yeah.
Hey, so Nyobi, cool character. At the beginning, I'm watching them and he's walking and T'Challa's spying over him, and I'm going, why is there so much attention being given to this character? That's not what T'Challa needs right now. This guy's on a life alert, and he needs to be getting CPR and being revived. This character is just got through a tough time. I like the character. Obviously he's the son of Changemire. Changemire is someone I was unfamiliar with. He was part of the Ta-Nehisi Coates Black Panther.
He is a scholar.
The scholar, it was the one that the Venom, the symbiote, attached to. Very forgettable. To me, very forgettable. If you remembered it, salute to you. I'm just saying for me.
Well, if Theo ever pops up in here, he'll tell you about a whole entire video he did on it. So, he educator, scholar. He was actually, I want to say, Queen Ramonda's tutor.
Mm-hmm.
So, highly regarded until he decided he needed to go left.
And unfortunately, he doesn't have a good relationship with his son, who refers to him by first name. Good touch. I like knowing that. And the character of Niobe is now someone who I care for, and they've built. Fine. If we look at the supporting cast of Black Panther, so you guys can see that poster behind me, right? Oh, I got T'Challa on the inside.
You got to move your Soul Glow Fro out the way.
We got all of those side characters who are on the outskirts of this poster.
That's a dope poster. Where you got it at your LCS?
Got at the LCS, yeah. Every now and again, they do like T'Challa or Black Panther posters. There's always a Spider-Man poster. If there's a new like a Moon Knight, because his artwork was so fire for issue 25, you can get the issue 25 poster. So they'll always do that.
Okay. Well,
here, this is the comic book on the side here of the poster. So it was a real cover, and then they decided that's popular. Let's make it a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't pay for it though. I got it for the LCS. He just had an extra poster that they're supposed to put up for promotional reasons, and they're like, they know I have a YouTube channel, so
that's a score though. Moving on.
Supporting characters of T'Challa. Number 1, Shuri. Number 2, Okoye. Correct? Okay, who's next?
Supporting characters, Shuri. We talk about this current
No,
iteration?
I'm
Or are we
talking
talking
about
about he who shall not be named? Because we've introduced a lot of characters.
any era of T'Challa. Who
Uh,
is the like? There's Batman and there's Robin, the Commissioner Gordon, and we know who that is. I'm just trying to
well,
list.
we know because T'Challa has had so many broken runs over time. The question becomes exactly what you're asking. Who is his supporting cast? If we go all the way back, if we talk about Jungle Action, we got Wakabi, we got Taku, we got Monica Lynn, we got
Monica Lynn, I
Monica Lynn,
believe, is dead.
We got Monica Lynn's dad, who was a huge supporting cast member in Black Panther back in the day. Okay, if we're talking about the Jack Kirby run, Princess Zonda, kinda, because when we go back to the wedding of T'Challa later on in the Hutland run, Princess Zonda shows up and her and Aurora have beef. So she's always had a thing for T'Challa and thought T'Challa had a thing for her, but he really didn't. And then there was Mr. Little, the little fella that was hanging out with him when he had King Solomon's frogs and he was running about doing that and the other. And then also, as Theo alluded to in Jungle Action, there was Cantu. I like that name, Cantu. Anyway, as he refers to it, the first person to hand Killmonger a defeat. Which, if you count running up behind somebody and pushing them off a cliff when they ain't looking, handing them a fade, then yes, he handed him a fade.
Of all those characters, Storm will show up in this Black Panther volume. I can't say
That'll
anyone
be
else will.
interesting to see, seeing how as they left each other on the last run.
Trust me,
Um,
every writer needs to put their touch on this character relationship here.
and,
So Storm
and
and
I
T'Challa.
like that, and I hope that Eve Ewing sees the necessity for Aurora and not the necessity for their contention. Cause see, after she found out that he had gentle spying on her, and they had their little fallout, and she, all of his lies came to the fore or whatever. Then she's like, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. So how we gonna write her in to this current storyline? Is she saying, "Oh, I thought about it and I miss you, and I think we should have a second chance," or "Oh, we just happen to be passing each other. I still don't like your ass, and more power to you, or whatever you're doing, do what you do, but you ain't doing it with me." So it would be interesting to see how Eve Ewing is going to interweave Aurora into the current storyline.
It'd be interesting to see Chris Allen draw Storm. I want to see this guy do anything, everything, and all at once. I love this artwork.
I like his art.
You just like
I
it,
like
You're not blown away the way I am, man.
I
Damn.
like. Well, I mean, oh, should I be blown away?
Yeah, you should be blown away. You should be like well blown. You should be windified. Tornado.
Okay, yeah,
Look at
don't
that
say.
barbershop. Look at the details. He's not just there. Like I'm sure on the instruction pages on the email that he got, it was draw a barbershop with two guys sitting down on the side and two barbers. Nah, he fixed things up, man.
Well, and looking at that picture,
Uh-huh.
Chris Allen would have to understand the dynamics of our barbershops. You know what I'm saying? Our barbershops are a combination of a place where you go to get groomed, a
Mhm.
place where you go to um, have information passed down from one generation to another, is a place where you go to have debates, is a place where you go to sell things. I mean, the barbershop in I don't know about Wakandan, but in the African American community, the barbershop serves that kind of function where you don't just go in there and get a haircut. You could go in there and get advice. You could go in there and get preached to. You could go in there and get talked about. I mean, all kinds of things. It's for me a barbershop. Well, not so much now, but back in the day,
I wasn't gonna say it.
yeah, back in the day, that's what. I can still go get trimmed, but
Yeah.
that is the place that you go to where, for me, knowledge is being kicked in some cases. But how that knowledge is kicked, you can look at a fool and say that's not what I want to be, or you could look at somebody intelligent and say I'm going to absorb that.
It's just a bizarre place for a Wakandan anywhere in Africa. Let's look at how there's communities in America, which are white, black, and the thing that unifies, or the place that where everyone's gonna go, who's black, who's got a thicker hair, who's got a specialized person who cuts hair in that way. That yeah, the barbershop would be the place to go to for that, and it'll turn out that the clientele all look the same, so the talks and conversation will look the same. But in Africa, everyone's already black. Everyone's having the same conversations, so it shouldn't have the same significance. I'd have to ask somebody living there right now. Maybe you guys can leave a comment, because there are many people from around the world who watch the Chillmonger YouTube channel. How is the barber shop there? Is it the way that Daryl just explained how it is in his experiences? And it's the same way, even because Toronto's a very diverse city, and that's where I live, in the Toronto area. It's the same thing, because you don't go to the white guy to get your hair cut. You go to who knows how to cut the hair that they have on their own heads. And yeah, someone's going to sell you something. There's the LeBron Jordan debate. There's all of that stuff as
Or
well.
is it Chris Allen Americanizing African culture?
Is he American?
Chris Allen?
Yeah.
Give me a second. Either way, the dynamic that I'm looking at in that comic book makes me think of an American barbershop. So then, yes, 100% Americanization.
Alrighty, countdown to the Geekcast. We are here with Mr. Allen,
How you doing?
San
Okay.
Antonio artist, who is going to be
So,
drawing.
so, so 100% Americanization.
All right. I was just checking.
Culture.
Yeah. San Antonio.
So yes, absolutely.
Go David Robinson, Tony Parker.
Yeah. So totally. So that may not necessarily be the actual dynamic that you run into in a barbershop in Africa somewhere, but he's made it an American experience. And so that's, I guess, a way of relating to your audience, or trying to relate to your audience, or put things in this book that you want your audience to be able to relate to. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Anything that makes this run unique, that hasn't been done, like for instance, I had posted a picture a couple days ago of a jungle action book where T'Challa, in full Panther habit, is with Monica Lynn at the grocery store buying groceries. T'Challa's trying to understand American culture. Okay, because that's the only thing that could be. Why would T'Challa need to go to the grocery store?
Yeah.
He's trying to understand American culture. I mean, and maybe that's what he was doing when he posed as a principal in the inner city back in the Avengers comics.
T'Challa's just trying to get well-rounded. The comic book, democracy is mentioned here in this run, and I am not for democracy in my fictional storytelling when the would-be dictator is none other than a superhero. Then it's okay. We dictatorships and these regimes that they don't allow other people to be voted in. Not really. It's T'Challa. We're covered. He's a hero. We're good.
Well, I mean, when he was king, there was always some questionable stuff he did. There was always some stuff that made the people go, "We don't know how we feel about you and what you're doing." Like, for instance, I think
story.
With that and the 88, I always go OG on you.
Yeah.
The 88 run, the 4-issue limited series that featured the supremacists. And he had to confront Bast, because even Bast had questions about how he was running Wakanda. It's like, you gonna have to show yourself worthy to me, or I'm gonna rip you apart right here and now. Just something to that effect. And then you had, like, I think it was Azania is the name of the country. I think Azania is a fictional African country, but they're having internal strife, and it was going on right around the time of apartheid. So it was nice to write that in, but I didn't understand it because Bast was making it look like it was T'Challa's responsibility to defend all of Africa, not just Wakanda. Wherever there's some injustice being done to the people on this land, you need to go over there and handle it. And that's what a lot of that story was about. And he was questioning his faith. And then at one point, he said he was going to abdicate the throne because of how people were responding to him, not responding to stuff going on in other countries. But then a year after that, he goes into South Africa to rescue his mother, who we later on find out is actually his stepmother, from I guess some people who were her and torturing her. So
you brought up Bust. Bust always chose him to be the Black Panther, the representative. That's the one. No matter what trash writing happened, they forgot to unbust him. And according to that legendary character, Bust still views T'Challa as Black Panther, and that hasn't been worn off, at least from everything we've read in issue 1. Maybe Ewing wants to continue the work of said human, not good person.
Well, and I know lately in recent years, Bast seems to have become a more capricious guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, if T'Challa don't want to do it, I'll have Shuri do it. Well, if Shuri don't want to do it, wow, this evil Killmonger is presenting an interesting point. Oh, wait, he's taking it from me. So I mean, it's kind of a round robin sort of thing. We like T'Challa, then we don't like T'Challa, then we like T'Challa again, and then it's cycles, but it had never went to the level it went to when we got you know who on the book. It was just the all-time wow. I mean, why are y'all just humiliating the crap out of the man and just turning him into a sissified punk? I don't enjoy this, and people who love this character do not enjoy seeing it. So we really got heavy eyes on Miss Eve, not in a mean way, but in a way that okay, it's like, all right, I'm gonna sit back here. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna sit back here. I'm gonna look at you. Okay. All right. Issue 2. What you got for me in issue 2? All right. I'm checking it out. All right. That's cool. All right. Issue 3. What you got? And when it starts to form into something that resembles something we can respect, then that's when we're going to loosen up a little bit, get a little less tight and say, all right, okay, she doing right by us. Okay. So we can rock with that. We can rock with that. But until then, you know what I'm saying? It's the kind of like how, well, this is a really simple way of putting it. When you have children and your children do something bad and you discipline your children, after that's all said and done, you're still looking at them and you're going, you better do the right thing, because if you don't do the right thing, you know the consequences. Now, if she wants to be regarded in the same way as that previous fella, then don't do right by us.
Theo, how do you refer to Ewing?
As a new football coach.
No, use the lingo that you said during your video. What did you call her?
Hey, she's a brand new football coach taking over for a team that just went 0-14, 0-15 with the same general manager and the same owner.
Yes.
Because that's still the same editor, and that's still the same editor in chief. So, and a lot of people don't, I'm not gonna say a lot of people because that's improper English. From what I've seen is too many people focused on her and not looking at that right there. That right there. Because if they don't give two damns, we've talked about this. If they don't give two damns, it ain't got to be worth a damn. That's why, as I said in the video, I would prefer for her, and I know it may be unprofessional, lean on your audience. Lean on your fans. Because everybody that you work for don't want you to succeed. They don't. They ain't got to care. You care. You care. So,
and Chris Allen, I'm sure Chris Allen's going this heavy because he knows the significance of Black Panther.
Listen, I'm not talking about anybody that's not an editor. Like, from what I love the writing, I did, because after issue 15, was the only way we can go is up. So honestly, my expectations were slim to none. I'm like, okay, well, let me see what you're working with. So I liked it. I'm being fair, honest with it. I'm sitting back because I never read her run on Ironheart. I never read that. I wasn't that impressed. Huh?
Don't listen to him. You read it.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, read it. Read it.
Well, you know, if I look at the 5 issues that I got from Photon, and I look at this one issue of Black Panther, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. You showing me that you still gonna pay homage to nostalgia and everything like that. As I referenced in the review that I just did, she referenced Shangamire. You know,
we covered that already, and you guys can see his personal video to get more of that.
Yeah,
well,
it's like
but
so.
When you mentioned about Will Moss, editor, it's the same CD Zabalski, it's the same company. That brings me to this page here. As you guys know, you can peel and reveal sometimes like a code for your comic book. And unfortunately, that isn't there. It's not the peel. It's the one where you got to email, and then the guy who works at Marvel will send you a digital copy. The digital copy thing irks me. I just want to peel it. I just want to enter it on my computer, and now I have it digitally. That is not done for the bigger Amazing Spider-Man or the X-Men comics. If you get one of those larger comics with bigger audiences that with respect, it's peel and reveal. So it's missing.
Still waiting on my code. I did it 2 days ago. I'm still waiting on the code for the digital issue.
I gave up on that. Now, if I see that there's no redeem code thing, I'm just going to turn to the methods that are not where you pay Marvel. I'm going to go and get a pirated, every image that you see on screen now that I'm editing in, I'm not bothering by, like Theo told me, he just emailed and he's waiting for it a couple of days later. I know. I'm just going to pirate the comic. That's all good. I don't have any problems because it's not like I didn't buy it multiple times, right? So we're good. Like I got the variant covers and the variants.
I have a question. What do we think about her?
Oh, she fine as hell. I'm sorry.
well, I gleaned that from your video, Theo. But I mean, as far as what do we think?
Oh Lord.
Because this is my question. Do we think she's a henchman or a mastermind?
Oh, mastermind. There's no way she's a henchman. She said, because I saw you alive in here to Nyobi, I'm going to let you live. If you have the ability to make decisions like that, then you're not a henchman. You literally are the one in charge.
I could see her. I could see there being like another boss above her. I don't want to use the word describe her as a henchman and everything like that. I'm just saying, like, I could see there being a bigger overarching villain and everything like that. This is issue 1, and very seldom from what I've seen, experienced in my lifetime, is the big bad revealed in the very first issue. There's a Baba that we haven't seen. Clearly, there's some issue with Nyobi and how people are viewing him and his connection to Baba and what is it, Nakuzi family or something like that. Something going on because what the cybernetic dude was trying to get at,
and that's what I'm saying.
He was trying to avoid that dude.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Lot to unpack.
And that's the other thing when they talked about Ewing, man. I was just telling my wife in one.
If I wasn't married, Ewing. Okay.
Yeah, in one issue, I saw T'Challa do something I ain't seen T'Challa do his whole entire run. He beat 5 dudes. He whooped at least 5 asses in the very first issue. Like, let me go ahead. The purse snatcher was asleep. The purse snatcher was asleep. You had 3 members of the Hatut Zeraze, right? He put them down, and I don't think not one of them put a hand on him. We didn't. Everybody was whooping ass in.
Now, Theo, real quick, I don't want to cut you off, but I was gonna ask you the same thing I just asked you. Did you notice one of those war dogs was a woman?
Yep, sure did. Sure did. I did that. And she was the first one got her ass snatched up.
Yeah, she got kicked onto her face.
Like,
So,
and
okay,
he beat up a
but
cyborg.
I thought all the Hatuts were men.
You know what? We could break that down later on. At some point in time, I'm expect to see a Dora walking around here with a kilt. Anyway, and I don't want to hear nobody say nothing. But you know, the cyborg was holding his shoulder, so I'm like, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Now there are some things that people can touch on and everything like that. The doors are missing.
It's only one issue.
Huh?
It's only one comic book.
Right. Exactly. And I think that's the thing, that it's only one issue. And as I told D-Real, I really do feel like we moved this universe now. Because before Chadwick Boseman's untimely passing, the Black Panther fan base was not as vocal and not as centralized as it is now. It wasn't as respected. You know now that fan base knows its stuff. So you can
You're over exaggerating our presence. Like us three, and then there's like a couple other YouTube personalities. There's some Twitter people.
No. I'm not talking about what we see here. I'm talking about by and large. It's that presence is no, because it's not just us that's talking. It's a whole community that's talking and sharing information and sharing knowledge and everything like that. And it's people all across that don't look like us, people that look different and everything, people that speak different languages, people that live on different continents. Those people are now communicating and sharing that knowledge. So you no longer feel comfortable that you can just pull the wool over that fan base. No, they're talking. So to me, the concerns about the Hatut Zeraze, hey, maybe you being careless with it, Eve. Don't be.
So Besa is not a former Hatut Zeraze herself?
Who?
Besa, is that her name? The woman that's new? Besa?
Amalolo?
No, this one.
I
didn't get her name, but she better be a former Dora.
She doesn't give me War Dog vibes.
She better be a former Dora.
She's something different. And what I would like it to be, and this is just my expectation of it. So are the best female fighters in Wakanda just Doras? Okay, yeah. Thank you for that.
Besa, thank you.
And they listed her as a thief. Okay, got it. So that even makes me think even more that she's not the mastermind.
Selena, Kyle.
I don't think.
I ain't say that.
She's been sent to perform a task. But what I'm getting at is this: whether she's a former Dora, whether she's a former whatever, I would like to see another faction of skilled fighters
again
in Wakanda besides War Dogs and Doras. She could be a former, she could be a current. I don't care. That would be something nice to see. You know, other than any woman from Wakanda who kicks ass got to be a Dora. Okay, why? Why can't we have some women that kick ass in Wakanda that ain't Dora?
We've had that in the past. Malice, who made her debut. Shout out to my man, Mr. Ray Smith, and my older brother right there, D-Real about that one. Malice made her debut in Jungle Action, and she was never a Dora. She was capable of whooping ass, and her backstory was never truly developed. We have women from the Jabari tribe, such as Sister Midnight. I think I'm getting her name right. If not, you'll tell me and everything like that. But any female from the Jabari tribe is a trained warrior off the rip. And while that clan has been disbanded and everything like that, those women still exist. The Jabari land still exists. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. So, and then if we want to take a look at, if we borrowing from the movie, well, who was the most accomplished fighter from the River tribe? It was a female, Nakia. So, you know, it's issue one. It's issue one, but you know, you got to speak what you want into the air. I believe she's off to a good start. She's not going to be perfect and everything like that.
Ooh,
I do.
Ewing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, she's off to a good start. She's not gonna be perfect. I am a griot, what they want to call it, a gatekeeper for certain rules and traditions. So let's stop being cute. The Doras are the women. We can spend that however we want to forward, make additional fighting classes, as D alluded to. The men out of Hatut Zeraze, there's so many different stories, other story. You know, we got the females talked about, the Doras talked about in Marvel Voices. We got that. You know who we've never had the Hatut Zeraze explore.
I'm not looking for that. I mean, this is the T'Challa comic book, and I don't
I'm
have
just
room for
saying, like,
Hatut.
I mean, but T'Challa once led the Hatut Zeraze.
That's cool. And if he was leading the Hatut now, I'd have time for it. But right now, it's so urgent to get this guy back up. We spent so much time on Yobi and seeing him dancing around the cybernetic guys, which called to the artwork. Remember that 4-page or that one panel, and it had like 4 panels inside of it to show you that he was running around out back to get up to his unit. That was really cool, and I've missed that when there's one image, but then we're splitting it up into many different ones. Fantastic Four 700 had that also that I noticed, but that's another touch on artwork, that storytelling without actually writing words, that I appreciated. The cybernetic folks, we saw Deathlock at the ending of the comic, and it does say to be continued with Deathlock. Something new of a villain with Bisa, something old of a villain. The Deathlock connections with Wakanda, how deep do these roots go? Because to me, this is new.
Yeah, that's some Deathlock history. Reginald Hutlin's run.
Did I miss that?
And
was that when the United States sent all of those cyber? That was the Deathlock.
Yes.
Oh,
I know. Just recently in that Avengers run, Avengers Mountain,
right there, Jason Aaron. Yeah, the Deathlocks were kind of like multiversal familiars, I guess would be the best way to describe them. So yeah, there's history with the Deathlocks. I personally like Deathlock. I like the original version, but you know, I know they're gonna do what they do, but I'm just happy for the presence of a Deathlock. If any Deathlock is a win for me. He's always been a fan favorite of mine. So I'd be interested to see what Deathlock's actual purpose is in all of this.
We'll find out. It's titled, issue 2 is titled Deathlock. He's the immediate villain. The overarching one is going to be the new girl, Besa, that we got to see, who may be former Dora Milaje, if Theo gets what he wants to get.
I'm flexible. Just don't do me that she's a former Hatut Zeraze.
You told me that she looked amazing and she's hot. Is she a love interest? If so, I'm checking out. I don't have any patience for another love interest in comics where the hero spends a lot of time with this woman, because as soon as the new writer comes, that goes to, it never lasts. There's a few,
I'm there for that. If that's what's going to go down, I'm there for that. But if we have some like Batman Catwoman shit going on, I ain't here for that either.
Like you said, it's too soon for that. He needs to be elevated back up and everything like that. So, you know, if you want to have them where they flirting with each other, but a serious relationship for T'Challa right now, no.
He had a low point. He don't need to be trying to smash right now. That's the last.
That don't make sense. Wait, as D would say, make it make sense. That don't make sense.
Please make it make sense. We are not boning villains right now. This is not a Batman comic book. Stop it. It seems like here on his mask, and I don't know if anybody made mention of that, on his mask there, that same kind of tribal makeup, we have an image of Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, so salute to Ms. Ewing for, you know, using that in a very creative way and giving homage that only the heads that know that's homage.
It could have been Chris Allen too. Let's not discredit that, because I'm working.
You guys know
I'm working with the comic
team.
book. I'm creating
Eve Ewing, but they're a creative team. I will never downplay an artist. If you watch my George Perez videos, you know I don't downplay artists. Never will, never have. But what I was getting at was, and I think Theo said in his video, that's gonna make one hell of an action figure. Mm-hmm. And they got accessories. Yay!
and chill, to your point, I mentioned Mr. Chris Allen in my video and everything like that. Got
We
the
all
name
do.
on the screen. Huh?
Yeah, we all do. The San Antonian, Chris Allen.
Yeah. So got to give shout out to you because I'm pretty sure as the artist, you pretty much played the bigger role in the costume design for this particular character.
Duh.
So
Okay. And maybe we shouldn't call it the Ewing design. Maybe we should call it the Chris Allen design.
We only do that.
That's probably actually who designed it.
They'll say that's from the Ewing run. We know it's you, Chris. We
and that's what I'm saying. I mean,
we need that.
I'll give you insight because I asked an artist to draw a character with limited descriptions, and I didn't mention to draw that X that you see the clothing, but the artist decided to do that without any like influence. So that's why I'm going, okay, the clothing was the decision of the artist, because it literally just happened to me this week on my side. You guys, the two of you know more than the common YouTube viewer, but I've been working on a fiction myself, and character design work is where we are. It's the step we're on right now. And so I give a lot of credit to these artists for thinking of things that make a character unique and stand out visually.
And it appears to be functional. Okay. The shield doubles as a pauldron. And then you've got a spear. And I think the whole idea behind that was, and we could probably find out later afterwards, is to distance his look as far from the actual Black Panther.
That's what I said in the video.
Without distancing yourself from that. You could very easily look at that design and say, that's somebody copying the Black Panther. That's somebody trying to look like the Black Panther.
They touched on it in the book, oh boy, and Yobi was like, you could probably get in trouble for masquerading, or something like that, words to that effect, masquerading as a Black Panther. Because I was trying to figure out how they was going to make sense. Like, this dude is over here in the Avengers at the same time. So okay, I get it. And I don't want to hear nothing.
And when he took that helmet off, and Yobi just dropped. You know what I'm saying? Your Highness. And I'm like, okay, so they still love him. They still got love for him. That's more of a political thing. The people still want him some T'Challa in their life, probably.
They didn't kill every Disturi member's family. There's people who are sour right now in Wakanda after the Disturi stuff from back during Dumor. Remember that? We all remember that. But so you listeners, there are descendants alive right now who are mad about their parents being exiled and killed, or however he dealt with the Disturi. We covered the Avengers comic book, and I wanted to make sure that we did. If there's anything else to say, let me know now, or were we going to end it right now?
With regard to the Avengers comic book, or
the inclusion of the Avengers, because let's take a little moment. It's Avengers time on the T'Challa time video. We'll probably do that every single month that we do this video, where we'll just kind of stop and say, meanwhile on the Avengers, this is what T'Challa did. Or if he shows up in like a symbol of truth or some other place, we should probably mention it. Has T'Challa showed up anywhere else this week?
As far as prior to or before? I mean,
prior to the Avengers. That's all.
Okay, well, there's this book right here. I kind of like the shady interaction between Sam Cap and T'Challa during. I mean, y'all fighting Terminus. We talking about that's a global level threat. You know what I'm saying? But you still got time to throw shade at each other. Yeah, Sam.
I think if anybody
has, and that's the kind of thing that's going on in the book. And oh, by the way, my name is Captain America. Why y'all bickering like girls? Stop that. Go in the danger room or the workout room or whatever y'all got at the mount and just handle that. And then after that, everything that's what men do. If I got a problem with a dude and we out there throwing shade like that, I'm gonna be like, hey, let me talk to you for a second, Sam. You talking like I wasn't holding back on you in Wakanda when me and you squared off. We can go on in here in the danger room and I can tell you what's what, and I give you a fair one because you need to go on somewhere with that my name is Captain America BS. I have fought Captain America many times, Mr. Wilson, and you are not Captain America. I said it.
That fight better take place in the Avengers because the way
If it take place in his book, exactly.
If it take place in Eve's book, Sam gonna get faded up real nice because she made everybody look like she had that dude one hitting quitting people over there in issue 1. Like all that I was mad about, he was doing that. So if he gonna run Sam on one, it better take place in the Avengers. That's the only way it's gonna look good. Because if it's over there in her book,
run that face.
Sam gonna get murked. Sure, he might get some in too. What did Paul say about all that?
Black Comic Lords Paul, yeah.
Yeah. What did he say?
He was saying if they really wanted to make the Black Panther the guy, then they can promote him as such and do exactly what needs to be done.
So what are they doing with Sam? They want to make Sam the guy. Now, Paul never said it always worked. He never said it always. He said, but if they want to make somebody the main person, they will put everything behind this person. So this explains why Sam is doing some stuff that we never saw Sam do in the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Not the 90s.
2000s.
No.
2010. I guess this is a recent phenomenon.
They hyping that man. They hyping that character for his cameo, Mr. DeMille. They hyping him up for his appearance. So if we got all these 20s and 30s comic books with him in here doing all this amazing stuff, when we finally get a movie.
The final page of this Black Panther comic book. I'm going to read it out loud for you. My sister, what is so remarkable that you had to show me in person? Woro. So that's the name of Woro. Maybe he's the head mastermind. This is the weapon we need to finally strike Baba and the Inkisu family from this very earth. But it's not a what? It's a who. So they want to strike Baba. That's a word for people's dads, or it could be literally his name is Baba. Remains to be seen. And his name is Wohu. He's got a sister apparently. If it's Baba and that's what they referred to him, you only say Baba with your brother or sister when you're talking about dad. Right. Good, cool. There's more villains. It's not just Deathlock and this Bisa. There's a little bit more, and I'm good if this goes 50 issues. And these are the guys who are just always present. And T'Challa's trying to solve a mystery of how to get to these guys. So far, he doesn't even know them. Good place to be at for an issue number 1. Phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. Yes. And what I would hopefully what it sounds like there's crime in the BD, and there are factions of crime in the BD. So just kind of extrapolate and say, if this were New York, would that be the Rose and the Kingpins factions in some kind of way, shape, or form? And because it's Wakanda, instead of Tommy guns and 9mm, we can get Deathlocks and chicks with fighting skills out of this world and advanced weaponry. So I feel like it's that kind of thing that's unraveling. And if it does, it'll be a great thing and an excellent way to do something I know Theo and I have been talking about for a while now. Build T'Challa his own rogues gallery. Rogues galleries are what drive heroes. And if you don't believe me, ask anybody who reads Spider-Man. Ask anybody who reads Batman. Ask anybody who reads The Flash. You know what I'm saying? They got solid rogues galleries, and you could just flip a coin and it land on a comic book, and it's like, let's do that villain in the Spider-Man comic books. He got so many to choose from. There is that same dynamic going on with T'Challa, but we never choose them, because I made a poster for one of my thumbnails, and I purposely put a bunch of T'Challa villains on there and said, see, these are people T'Challa fought. How come these folks don't pop back up? How come these folks don't keep recurring? How come these folks ain't got a mad on for T'Challa like, some villains have a mad on for Spider-Man, or some villains have a mad on for Daredevil or Captain America? That kind of thing. That, just like you said, alluding right back to what Paul said, if they want to make him the man, they will.
How many issues have Will Moss read of Black Panther prior to becoming the editor? Not as many as I would imagine he did for Thor. which he's the editor of.
Well, here's the thing. I don't. I can't get a dude an excuse. I can't give him an excuse.
That wasn't an excuse. I
No, no,
was
no, no, no.
trashing him.
I'm not saying that you did. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to allude to that. What I'm saying is, I expect better for him. You're supposed to be the guy getting this right, because this isn't your first rodeo in regards to this particular character. No, I'm expecting you to get this one right. Like, own it. Get it right. You the editor. Nobody should fail on your watch. We all have other things that we do outside of what we do here on YouTube. We still find the time to make sure we know what we're talking about in regards to these characters, learn the content. And we don't work for Marvel. We don't work at Marvel. So if we can do it, if we have the pride to go out and get that knowledge, I need that. I need that. I think that's fair.
That concludes T'Challa.
I'm sorry. This first issue, I didn't mean to cut you off. This first issue shows that Ewing respects the canon. That's all we ever been wanting anybody to do. Respect the canon. Okay. Yeah. When you bring up certain things and certain people and certain instances that have occurred over time with the character, it shows you took the time to read something. It shows you took the time to delve into that character and say, okay, what could I say about this character that's going to resonate with the fans? And if you keep throwing things into your book that resonate, just like with Christopher Priest, he resonated so powerfully with us, because for years in the 70s and 80s, we'd all been sitting around saying T'Challa is a fantastic character. He's the king of the most technologically advanced country on the planet. How come he's getting pimp slapped and punked and treated like he's weak and all of this? Somebody need to put some respect on T'Challa's name. Christopher Priest did that. And now it seems like don't nobody want no respect to be on T'Challa's name anymore. And so you know who did all he could to take that respect off. Right. So now Eve's got to start that process all over again and put the respect back on.
And then pay attention. We here, we're fans. We're going to be fair. We're going to be critical. Just as we're giving compliments, you paying homage to the past and everything like that, great artwork, we're going to point out stuff. That Hatut Zeraze, that female Hatut Zeraze, something that I myself noticed but was not going to bring up, but I noticed it. Don't do that. Don't get cute. Don't try and push an agenda. Those are stories.
Oh, you think that she was like, we need women in here,
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. What I'm saying is, don't get caught up in that. The Hatut Zeraze are all men. If we want to create a militia for Wakanda that encompasses both men and women, by all means, Eve, this is your opportunity to do so. But respecting canon, because as I said it jokingly, but I said it sarcastically. We're not going to stop till we're going to put a dude in a kilt and call him a member of the Dora Milaje, but we're not going to do that.
I think that the Hatut Zeraze female member could easily be explained at Folashade during, because now it's a democracy. They're like, oh, let's get some people up in the Hatut who are women. And just as the Hatut disassembled, that happened. Or the Hatut disassembled and that woman who got beat up by T'Challa just put on the Hatut and said, hey, I'm here. I'm not actually a Hatut member.
That's how I was trying to rationalize it, was the Hatut tech got out into the streets and anybody could rock some Hatut tech. Because if you, I mean, I don't know, man, I'm sure they're dirty Hatuts. Look at Hunter. But I just feel like, and the way they got took out, I mean, not to say so much that that's less of T'Challa's skill or more of their lack of skill. I just something about it. When I seen the woman, that's what I did. I immediately tried to rationalize. Oh, maybe they aren't Hatut. Maybe those are just people wearing Hatut stuff.
They were called remnants. The word was Hatut remnants.
You're not even trying to rationalize. The conversation that we just had, we're not having if that's not what that is. We're talking about something else. entirely.
Okay.
So I'm just, like I said, I don't even know why that is what that is, and I'm saying it for what it is because I don't think we put way more respect on the doors, but they're not in this. They're not in this comic book. They're not. But no one has ever suggested any shape, form, or fashion, because I believe in equal energy, that we have a male member of the Dora Milaje. It's never been uttered. It's not suggested, not hinted at, not written, not drawn. So equal energy, and we can keep it moving.
I think you've been like, okay, remember how T'Challa wasn't recast, and anyone on Twitter would say that you're being a sexist guy. I think that you're aware of the audience who think everything you say is sexist, and now you're like overcompensating on defense with that statement what Theo just said right now. Like, we wouldn't want a Dora Milaje to be male either. Don't worry. Like, don't even give it those. It feels like that's what's an undertone.
I'm just saying for what it is. Like, we just had a comment. Daryl noticed it. Like I said, I wasn't even gonna touch on it. I didn't touch on it in my review. I noticed it though. So I mean,
I've been keeping my mouth shut about a lot of stuff all week, so I'm just I'm throwing everything. I'm throwing everything up.
And mind you, we're just the ones that's going to sit there and notice it and not say nothing. But there are those that are going to notice it and say something and take it completely left. So I'm saying to myself, okay, well, I did notice it.
And those who are watching, leave a comment if you notice it and let us know how important it was. It's the last part of our review here that we're doing. It's gonna be a monthly event where I link up with Daryl and I link up with Theo and we chit chat the comic thoroughly, more than I did in my little 15-minute review. I think your review was like 25 minutes, and then Daryl talked about it on his live stream during Thursday evening, right? Where you just went off and you kind of gave us everything there. Well, whatever we held back or didn't, it comes here on this stream. So I don't know when I'm posting this, but his name is Be Real with D Real, which you can subscribe to, and his name is IAS-IJS with Theo Butler. That is that. Become a member of Chillmonger and Mowini. And what's a better word than Mowini? What should we be saying right now?
Inkosi.
Inkosi.
Wait, hold on. Kosi. I gotta make sure I do that.
Inkosi.
No, Kosi.
What am I'm calling it T'Challa and Chill. Is that whack?
T'Challa and Chill. That I don't know if I'm thinking something else when you say T'Challa and Chill. Not two grown men talking about a comic book.
Okay, T'Challa hour, T'Challa time, T'Challa time.
That works. That works. No, I'm not chilling with you. Even though you chill. Even though you chill monger.